As we're getting into late wipe and the wacky events are getting started in Tarkov, this is usually where I'll start spending some time in other titles. If you're tired of the same old routine in Tarkov and you're wondering if Helldivers 2 is worth the investment, then I've spent hours diving into the chaos here and I've got some thoughts. So stick around to find out if it's worth your time and money. Helldivers 2, let's dive in. Right when you start the game, you're hit with a propaganda-type advertisement with an exaggerated portrayal of a future society where military service seems to be glorified and unquestioned. And mixed in is an unexpected amount of extreme violence and gore with cheesy dialogue. It's a familiar satirical take on militarism, propaganda, and fascism that takes me back to my childhood. Okay, so Starship Troopers might not win any Oscars, but man, me and my buddies love that movie. We must have rented that VHS from our Hollywood Video over a dozen times and probably watched it hundreds more. After watching the intro, I felt like I was Johnny Rico gearing up to get into battle with Ace and Dizzy again, and I was just super excited to get into it. So you're initially dropped into the training ground. I took this time to look at the graphics settings available. From there, I tweaked them to match my current setup. I'm on a 5600 X3D with 32 gigs of RAM and a 3070. I wanted to keep it a mid-level build with some decent specs. To start, I will be testing a lot more configs going forward. After going through the different graphics presets, I preferred high because of the visual fidelity. On medium and low, the colors and the image just didn't feel as immersive to me. So I'm aiming to keep the graphics presets on high. On this configuration, what I had to do was set the scaling to quality in order to stay around 100 FPS. Now I want to be around 100 FPS because that's where motion blur starts to go away for me. Anything above that is even better. But below 100, I can notice that motion blur and it starts to bother me. So that's the average FPS I want to be hitting. After fine-tuning my settings, I dove headfirst into the training course, quite literally. It took me a few tries to navigate past these pesky guns, but after I got the hang of this one, the rest of the training course was pretty much standard stuff. What to do if you get stabbed in the eye, learning how to shoot, what to shoot, getting acquainted with some of the game's mechanics. After I completed the training, they gave me a ship, and I easily followed the prompts to get on my first mission. Right off the bat, Helldivers 2 throws you into a chaotic battlefield. I was expecting bugs, but I got Terminators wielding chainsaws charging at me instead. The guns feel weighty, the audio is spot on, the movement feels smooth as butter, but what really grabbed me was the stratagem system. Punching in those codes on that wrist device never gets old to me. What sets Helldivers 2 apart though is how it immerses you in the world of Super Earth. Every player I've encountered online is fully invested in playing their role in this world and buying into the story. It's this collective immersion that elevates the experience beyond just another shooting game for me. It feels like I'm living out Starship Troopers and not just playing a game. I heard a lot of hype about this game coming into it, and I didn't read heavily into what it's all about. I like to formulate my own takes based off my own experience, and let me tell you, what an introduction. I'm absolutely hooked, and I can't wait to put more hours into this one. For pros and cons, the game's story and intro are short but in your face and to the point. I get what the game's about, and I'm in. The gameplay mechanics are crisp and feel good. The graphics are very good. The replay value is high for me because I want to unlock newer gear, and the progression rate is rewarding enough to keep playing. But it's enough of a grind to also feel like it's a challenge. Overall, it's like the mobile game concept to me in its final form. Like the best mobile game you could ever make with more of everything. More graphics, more detail, more things to do, more complexity, but boil it down and it feels like that same mobile game concept. 3 levels of credits and different levels of grind in order to achieve all the unlocks. The only cons I can think of right now is that it seems like I could hit the level cap with the way I grind games, and I'm worried I'll run out of content to consume. A quick Google search and I already see some info on things to come, so that keeps me encouraged. Looks like some new gear coming with new battle passes, And then down below, I read that there could be possibly drivable vehicles, AI support, NPCs, and a new faction called the Illuminate. It sounds like they'll be like the Protoss or something. The way I see it, it's already delivered more than I was expecting, so everything from here is just gravy on top. With other popular games that I play, like Escape from Tarkov being $50 for the standard edition and eclipsing over $100 for the premium edition, and Call of Duty costing $70 off the rip and then over $100 for the premium edition. Given all that, I'd say Helldivers 2 at $40 is a really great value. And we're always expecting new content. COD has a battle pass that costs $10, but if you actually look at it, they have extra stuff that's stuck behind a paywall. So you need to get the Black Cell version, which costs $30 on top of the $10 battle pass. The battle pass comes in around $10, like I said. And if you complete the entire thing, then you'll earn enough CP to buy you the next battle pass with a little bit of change left over. So what that does is tempt you into buying these credit packs that allow you to buy some of the DLC. Most of the good packs are going to be 2400 CP or about $20 each. And now I've seen new ones that are 3000 CP that again leave you with mismatched amounts of CP, which encourages you to get more. Listen, I'm not complaining about the prices. The game is popular. They charge what they charge because people pay it. If you don't like it, you don't have to buy it. No one's forcing you to buy it. So that's the way I see the prices on games today. It's because the popularity of games has risen exponentially, and that's why they can charge so much, because it's such a commodity. Given that the top games with the most players can charge exorbitant amounts of money for their content, I think it's really cool when a company decides not to charge the maximum amount they can and squeeze every nickel and penny out of their player base. I think it's a nice gesture, and the way that the battle pass, or the battle pass so to speak, for Helldivers works, the acquisition center with Warbonds, you have regular Warbonds and premium Warbonds. The premium Warbonds can be purchased, but if you grind enough and play the game enough, you can actually earn enough premium Warbonds to unlock all the premium content. So there's nothing that's strictly stuck behind a paywall. If you play enough, you'll be rewarded with all the content in the game. And I think other game companies could take a note here on how to build trust with their community. In closing, Helldivers is a sum that's greater than its parts. I played games with good stories. I've seen games with better graphics. I've played games that let you shoot aliens and robots before. I played games that have deep progression systems. But there's something uniquely captivating about the way Helldivers 2 combines all these elements. It's been one of the most enjoyable gaming experiences that I've had in a long time. Whether you're tired of the grind in Tarkov, looking for a break from whatever title you're playing, or looking for something fun to play with your buds, I highly recommend giving Helldivers 2 a try. Personally, I initially committed to giving it just an hour and then shelving it if it wasn't good. But here I am, one day later, I'm at level 10 and I'm gearing up for another exhilarating mission against the Terminids. To me, it's definitely worth a shot. Alright, that's all I got for you today. I hope it was helpful, informative, or entertaining in some way. As I sign off, I want to extend my gratitude to each and every one of you. None of this will be possible without your support. So thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, for liking, commenting, sharing my videos. You have made this journey worthwhile. There's a long way to go ahead of me to become a full-time content creator, but I'm incredibly grateful for you checking out my content. So take care. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next one.